Hi guys, this is Ray over here, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to control your thoughts and especially letting go of like negative thoughts. So when there are certain events happening or certain people and the conversation you are having with them, and you have like a certain like negative thought that keeps on controlling your mind and you can't stop thinking about it, then this video is for you because I'm going to talk about three actually techniques that I'm using or strategies that I'm using that will really help me control those thoughts and actually to let them go and make myself feel happy. So I want to share it with you, and yeah, so keep on watching. So I got inspired to make this video because I just recently went to this instance that I was feeling really upset, and I was feeling upset because I had kind of like a conflict or not like a nice conversation with a person, and we stopped talking for a while. And I basically thought about like a million things, and those were all like negative. I was kind of like feeling upset, and I was feeling like disrespected, and I was feeling like not valued. And it actually came from like not what the person said, but it was more about like my own kind of belief systems or my own like experience. So I wanted to kind of like let go of that, and I have been using those kind of like three techniques quite often when I have like a conflict, whether it's like in personal life or whether it's at work or with friends. That would really help me to kind of like release those negative thoughts and make me kind of like feel happy, feel lighter, and also kind of like be more in the moment. So I actually want to share that with you because it's good to kind of like get control of those like negative thoughts and not having those to occupy your energy. Yeah, so I kind of like made a list of what I normally do, because sometimes it's good to kind of evaluate what you do as well and what works and what not. So the first thing that I always do is you have certain thoughts and you keep on overthinking them, especially for example if you have a boyfriend or you have a girlfriend and you have like a conflict. You kind of like think, oh, that person is not valuing me, like how can that person do this, and you think all these negative things. So it's all in your mind, so you have to kind of like, it has to get out there, right? But sometimes like words can be really painful, or you cannot really take them back, and you can make people feel in a certain way that you don't want them to feel. So sometimes it's good to kind of like write those words down, or at least like get them out of your mind, and also not throw them onto like the other person, because those words you can't take back. So how to really deal with that is even if you have like negative thoughts, and you can also be expressive about it, but then just write it down, all of it, because you can always read it back and you can refer to it, that when you felt that moment, how you felt, was it actually like true, or was it actually like just like an emotion that you just had at that particular time. So I think the first really good thing is how to control your thoughts and let go of things is just like actually emptying it and throwing them on like a piece of paper, or even what I'm doing. Sometimes I just like record myself. It sounds weird, but it really works. I record myself, I say how I feel, and then it's just like out there. So it's out of the body, it's out of like the brain, and you can kind of like empty your thoughts. So I think before you do anything else, it's good to kind of like acknowledge how you feel and throw it out there, but just on paper, or like record it, or just write it down, so you can always refer it back to it. But what I always had is sometimes like I really felt the urge to write an angry message just in the moment, to send it to somebody, and I was really regretting it. And sometimes like those conflicts happen, and then you think back, and then you think like, did I really had to like say it like that, because it was more like out of emotions. And sometimes when you're like a bit patient, it will really help, because then you have like a normal conversation, which is more based on like less on emotion but more on like what the actual thing that is happening, and you can be like more adults about it, right? So I think like that's the first really good thing, is just kind of like emptying your like thoughts, and you write it down like on paper or something, so you can at least like put it somewhere and you have acknowledged those thoughts and you just kind of like throw them out and it's gone for. Okay, so the second thing that I do that really helps to kind of control and like let go of negative emotions is actually just really taking time for myself. And because often when we have these negative emotions kind of like coming from external and reflecting on something that happened like happened in the past, on based on experiences before. So if we just kind of like be in the moment, being like present, being like grounded, and really taking care of ourselves. So doing something that we love to do. For example, like for me, I love music and I love dancing. So I just put my favorite music on. I start dancing because it's kind of like that happy endorphins that comes out. And then what I do as well is often I also take like a shower, because I just feel like that negative emotions or thoughts that I just have to wash it away. And often when I come out of the shower, I just feel like clean if I have like washed away those kind of like emotions. And even though it's kind of like something that is so simple, but it will really really help you to feel so different. And then when you kind of like get out of the shower, you just feel like you feel that maybe that those emotions that you had it's less, or you don't feel like that attached to it, because sometimes we're really attached to certain like beliefs. So for example, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, because my emotion is always that I feel that people don't value me and don't respect me, and that's maybe like something coming that's from the past. But at the same time, like maybe somebody does something and then I feel like automatically the person doesn't value me, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe the person was just forgetting to text you or to call you, and it doesn't mean that person kind of like neglected you. So I think like it's just kind of like letting go and just being like less attached to like a certain emotion. And that's like when you can be like really present and do something that you really love, so you can you take the focus away of your thoughts. Yeah, so that's the second thing that I think is really really key for me. Like at least for me, it always really works, just washing away those emotions and then just being like really present, breathing, and just feeling happy, and like shaking everything, all those emotions off. And then you can feel like, okay, actually I feel good now, it's less occupying me and I can like sleep better as well. Yeah, so that's the second thing that I do, which is really really helpful. And the third thing that I do is often like your mind, when you have like negative thinking or you have certain stories that you're telling yourself, it comes from maybe like a lack of self-love or a lack of confidence that you might have. And what I have is I have like this whole list of affirmations that I've written down, because I feel like whenever I read back those affirmations, I think like I'm loved, I'm in good health, I'm confident, I am abundant, I'm all of that. I feel like, oh, actually I'm very very blessed. I have like I show like gratitude of like what I have. And then I'm like, oh, actually that little conflict that I had, it didn't really even matter. So having the gratitude and having those like affirmations that to remind you that you're actually so blessed what you have at the moment. And those little things, those little conflicts, it doesn't matter, because you are much stronger than that, because you are like an incredible person. And what other people think of you, it doesn't really matter that much, because you are defining your own value, and your value doesn't depend on anybody else. Yeah, so affirmations and showing gratitude, it's so important, because you like start thinking that you're just like so blessed, and nobody else can make you feel different than what you decide to feel, just because you are the one that is in control and nobody else has control over your feeling and emotions, just you. So kind of like thinking, having those I have like 50 affirmations of like every area of my life, and I can share like a video about like affirmations as well, because as soon as I wrote them down, not only that did I become like closer to my goals, because my affirmations are actually my goals, but I just felt like also instantly like more happy, and also like or like I could control my emotions much better. Yeah, so I those are the three things that I would really recommend to do. And I know that even for me, when you are like spending so much time by yourself, it's like a time that you're really reflecting on things. But when you like go through it, then you feel like, okay, actually I'm much stronger now. I've now changed the way I react, and also the way my thoughts are. I could like quicker let go of certain thoughts that I have. It maybe I have like a thought maybe like for 1 minute instead of like having it for the entire night. So just acknowledge the thoughts that you have is so important, to just recap. And then also like really breathing, being in the moment and really caring for yourself is so key, because you are just like, there's only one person of you, and you have to really take care of yourself and be really present, because you can't change your past, you can't predict the future. So being in the present is just like what is in control now. And the third thing is really having those affirmations down and reading them frequently, because then you feel like, oh, actually, like the joy that you have all those things in your life. And then those small conflicts, it doesn't really matter anymore, right? Because you don't really want to spend time being upset. You want to spend time being happy. You want to spend time being like joyful, and that's only what you can have. And you let go of like those negative thoughts that people that you might have from like certain situations. Yeah, so I think like those three techniques really worked on me. And I'm a Sagittarius, so sometimes we are like really fiery. That's why we also have fire sign, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, so I hope these techniques also helps for anybody that's going through like situations that you think like, okay, I can't control these thoughts or like these emotions, what should I do? Try these three things and let me know how did you get on, and if you had any results with that, because I would love to hear if it helped you, because it definitely helped me as well. So I'm actually smiling after like I was like a bit upset yesterday. But yeah, so if you like my video, please leave me a comment and subscribe to my channel for more, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.